The first thing we're going to do is the bases with two scrapbooking papers. For page number 1, we're going to use the 10.6 by 16 centimeters cardstock. We'll make 3 tabs at 1.2 centimeters to make a pocket. And stick on top the 9.2 by 13 by 2 centimeters paper. In the pocket we'll keep these 2 cards, the booklet, which will fold to 8 and 8.2 centimeters. We'll stick 2 papers of 7.8 by 10.8 centimeters in front and back, and one of the 8 by 11 centimeters cardstocks. We'll rip the 7.8 by 10.8 centimeter paper and stick it on top. We'll make another vase with a 1.2 centimeter tab with the leftover paper that we used for page number 2, and we'll rip it like this. We'll fold the 17.4 by 20 centimeter cardstock in half and we'll make 2 tabs at 1.2 centimeters. The frame is cut at 1.2 centimeters from the edges. We'll stick the 9.8 by 14.8 centimeter acetate under the frame, especially here, which will be where the photo will enter. And we'll make the paper frame with the 9.8 by 14.8 centimeter paper. We can stick the leftover paper inside. We'll stick the 10 by 15 centimeter paper behind. And we'll stick the frame right at the center. For page number 2, we're going to use 2 cardstock frames of 9.4 by 13.4 centimeters. They are very narrow, so you can make tabs adding a few centimeters. 2 paper frames of 9.2 by 13.2 centimeters and 2 acetates of 9.2 by 13.2 centimeters. We'll stick these 2 papers of 9.2 by 13.2 centimeters behind the 2 cardstock of 10.6 by 13.4 centimeters and 9.4 by 14.6 centimeters. We'll fold them at 1.2 centimeters. The frames will be placed on top. We'll stick the 8 by 11 centimeters cardstock at the base and the 7.8 by 10.8 centimeter paper on top. Be careful with the holes when sticking something on the base. We'll make a magnet closure with the chipboard. Miriam has cut the papers to fit the frame. We will cut 2 scrapbooking papers in a cardstock to the size of 6.6 by 6.6 centimeters. Later on, Miriam will show you how to stick the magnets into the cardstock. We'll try to stay in this area so that the frame does not prevent you from correctly opening the album. We will cut the acetate to a size of 6.6 by 6.6 centimeters. We will also cut a paper of the same size. Later on, Miriam will show you how to put them on place. And this is optional. Miriam is going to remove the tab instead of using a piece of linen. This part is going to be seen, so Miriam is going to fray the edge to make it more shabby. Miriam left a space of at least 2 millimeters for twisting and let it dry for an hour. Once dry, we cut the excess. We are going to leave this little piece uncut. Now we begin to stick all in place. These printed papers do not have straight borders, so we can use them as guides to make our papers look more vintage. One way of doing our paper look more vintage is to damage it with scissors or with our own hands. Also, we could use a lighter to damage the paper. Miriam also broke on purpose the paper while damaging it. Put the glue without crossing the line. Soften the cut with a piece of lace. Will tried not to hide the hunger from the aviary. Try to place the three cards in a harmonious way even though they are not exactly at the center. Mark and cut the line and then put the top inside. Stick the tabs behind. Magnet closure can be done in many ways. This is one of them. Miriam is going to use a lot of small magnets, but you can use 3 to 5 bigger magnets. Important, they need to be really heavy, because they'll have to close despite the cardstock and paper, plus the photos. Also, each magnet's couple will go stick behind the vase. Keep in mind that these magnets have to attract each other, not repel each other. So take it into account when choosing which face of the magnets you are sticking into the card. We are going to fix the paper with these magnets so that we can find the place in which the other magnets have to be glued. Keep in mind that we are just finding the location in which the magnets has to go. We still have to flip them, so do not glue them yet. Now, as you can see, Miriam is flipping the magnets and then she is gluing them at the correct place. We will always stick the acetates between the paper frame and the cardstock frame. Before we stick the frame, we need to decide from which side will the photo enter. The frames are very narrow, so you need to apply the glue from the edge to a 1 mm inside. To do this, you can do it in several ways. One way is to use a special applier in your glue. Another way to do it is to make yourself some tabs, apply the glue there, and then apply them at the frame. And the last way to do it is to cut yourself a guide, which you'll place centered at the frame, apply the glue, and then take out the guide before it dries. If it's difficult for you, you can stick the leftovers before sticking the frames. We decorate the reverse part to hide away the magnets. While it dries, we're going to decorate page number 1. We apply glue at the top left corner and at the long edge. More die cuts from the collection. Miriam doesn't have the cutout sheet, so she's going to use this instead. You can find all these flowers in the floral art section of the store. Put the glue carefully. If we take a micro bead, we can use it to decorate the pages. We put the acetate in place. And the final touch. Make splashes with white acrylic paint. We have to put a paper on top of the acetate to avoid acrylic paint stains.